Hello, my name is Prime and welcome back to ATS Showcases, and today we are here once again in the Iowa DLC, actually here in Dubuque, and we're going to head over to Waterloo today. Now, for today's delivery, we're going to take some of these side roads here because as far as I know, somewhere in this general direction, there's a bit of a hidden road that's included within the DLC, so I'm going to see if I can find it because normally I'm not that great at finding hidden roads, so I'm going to take a stab at it. As for what we're hauling today, we've got 5 of these electric JCB dumpers, which I must admit look a little bit small on this Load King trailer, but I mean, hey, it works. And of course, attached to this Load King trailer is our Volvo VNL in this beautiful forest green metallic color. So without further ado, let's get this VNL started up and get on the road. The engine sounds that you've just heard come from the wonderful engine and transmission compilation mod, a free Steam Workshop mod that I'll have the link for down in the description below. All right, let's get rolling. Hopefully everyone's doing well. I certainly am. It is great to be back here in ATS once again and back here in Iowa to no surprise. And yes, we're going to be starting to explore out of Iowa once again, touching on some of the other wonderful areas of ATS. Of course, because of the release of the Iowa DLC, this has taken a lot of focus, and well, we're definitely going to make sure we hit Burlington as well before we are done here in the, well, shall I say the heavy exploration of Iowa. Of course, we'll be still around the area, but you know what I mean. There's still a little bit more to come here in Iowa, but it's great to be back once again. And my word, Traffic Nation, everyone under the sun is turning left. Okay, interesting. Well, I guess it's fairly free for us to turn right because everyone is doing a continual line left. Oh my word, the traffic. What's going on here in Dubuque today? Insanity. But it's great to be back here in Iowa, and yes, there is a, well, as far as I know, some form of hidden road up in this area. I actually had a few people DM me about, hey, can you go check out some hidden roads, or at least try and find it? And while exploring around this area, trying to find a job, I think I may have come across one. I don't actually know. So we're going to figure that one out, and I had been told that there was one kind of up in this area, so we're going to see if we can find a hidden road. That would be fantastic. I always love finding those things because I'm not very good at it. Let's be honest. Normally that is up to all of you. You all are the wonderful detectives that can manage to find all these things. I'm a little bit lackluster in that department. So I'm going to just talk about here mainly today the elephant in the room in terms of American Truck Simulator news. For those who have not seen my most recent Prime News video, that video talked about, well, what will be the very first DLC for the Project Road Trip module for American Truck Simulator. That is the Ford Car Pack DLC. A little while back, SES Software released, or at least teased and talked about a little bit, the Project Road Trip feature or module, depending on how you want to call it, for American Truck Simulator. And there was also a call out for those with some different vehicles and real life vehicles for that matter, for engine sounds and so on, and that included some Ford vehicles. Now, for this video, or for at least for that blog post, what was talked about in that Ford DLC pack basically is that there would be the Crown Victoria, a new Bronco, a new F-150, and the classic Mustang. It's the 67, I do believe it was. That would be available to, well, purchase and drive within American Truck Simulator, which is very interesting if you ask me. And it's an interesting approach that Project Road Trip isn't going to be all in one DLC, but in fact spread across multiple car pack DLCs that unlock the feature of Project Road Trip itself. So the best way I can explain this is that, and what the blog post mentioned as well, is that in the future, as SES Software unleashes or collaborates and releases more car pack DLCs for American Truck Simulator, each of those car pack DLCs would unlock the Project Road Trip feature on its own. So the Project Road Trip feature or module, however that's going to work within American Truck Simulator. Still not 100% sure on the details of that one yet. It would be basically sitting with everyone in the game, and then depending on if you purchase one of those DLCs, it then allows you to play it. So whether you pick up, say, a Ford car pack DLC that we have the first one planned and confirmed here, or if you pick up, I don't know, let's say a Dodge DLC or a Toyota or GMC or whatever, or GM, car pack, whatever it may be, whatever the manufacturer, it appears like whatever one if you wanted to just say go with one brand or not, you would unlock Project Road Trip. Again, I really don't know at this point exactly what Project Road Trip is going to entail in entirety, because everything is very much looking like with that module to be more of a, well, shall I say, exploratory and more, scenic emphasis on it, in terms of, okay, let's make sure that we can, just give us a different way to explore the ATS map, see different waypoints and so on, and go that way. So that's where the controversy really comes in with Project Road Trip. But on the other hand, there is the opportunity, especially if there are pickup trucks coming in, like there will be with the F-150 and the Ford Car Pack DLC, for something like hotshot trucking, or at very least some other roleplay, opportunities, basically, for those who want to go full realistic and drive their personal vehicle, let's say an F-150, for example, to their garage, and then from there, let's go to the exterior of their game, thank you very much, and then from there, get into, quote-unquote, their American truck, and let's say this Volvo, and then could start their day. Project Road Trip has the opportunity to be very, very good on that front with the roleplay, and potentially hotshot trucking and more of an intro to commercial logistics. I think for a whole storyline that could be good, but at the same time, if the emphasis is very much on just exploration and so on, that's where, well, the very evident divide within the community is starting to show. And I'm not going to lie to you, there have been many comments, and if you actually look at the most recent Prime News video, thank you, first of all, for everyone sharing their thoughts. Let's try and keep it civil as well. I've done a little bit of moderation in that one, and I don't have to do that too often, which I thank you all about for that. But there is a serious divide in the community on Project Road Trip, something that isn't actually as noticeable on Project Coaches for ETS2. And I think the reason for that is that coach buses are a lot closer to, well, a more logistics-based thing compared to not. Okay, I gotta actually pay attention for a hidden road here, because I don't want to actually miss it. I'm hoping I haven't. What's this one here on the right-hand side? The state trooper there. Can I turn into this? I mean, keep in mind, I have my markers off. Oh, there's construction signs up here. It's promising. Oh, I think we got it. We got it. I actually put that okay, I'm not gonna lie, I did not put that waypoint marker on the map. Everyone's gonna say, oh, Prime, you cheated, you found it, and then put the waypoint marker down to know where you turned. That was actually a genuine flex there, friends. I managed to just slap that down in the best place possible. We're on the hidden road. Look at that. It's updating the GPS right now. So, but wait, detour not for trailers? Of course I find the hidden road. That's what? This would explain the construction signs. Oh, is this from the screenshots? I think I remember this from one of the really teaser blog posts or something like that. This was around here. Okay, well, they're working on a washout of a road. And are we actually going to send this down here? Well, I guess we might as well. So, or hopefully we're not going to... Oh, this can't be good for the trailer. I feel like... Yeah, Yeah, we're just scraping the frame there. Oh my word. Okay, well, let's take a little bit of realism aside here and just take a moment to appreciate this very interesting detail of the map DLC. Something that, you know what, I have to appreciate of SES software, because they take the time to do these hidden roads. Most of the time I can't find them, but that's fine. But they do add just that little bit of extra something for those who like to explore. And you know what, maybe this is what Project Road Trip would be kind of neat to do. Be able to go back and find all those different hidden roads and stuff in a standard vehicle instead of doing it in an 18-wheeler. Oh, big bump. So we go off the edge of the platform. And it seems like we're back onto the original road before the washout. Okay, so I guess we'll figure out where this actually takes us now and where it joins back in. I'm assuming it's joining back into the road. How interesting. But yeah, like this whole idea of Project Road Trip is very divisive. I can see it in the just sheer amount of comments that came up in that Prime News video alone and other videos alike that I've done on Project Road Trip. But at the same time, a lot of people are genuinely interested in figuring out what happens, and I think we have to go this way. Well, we're gonna go through the gate. It's the only way we can seemingly go. Yeah, this is definitely not made to do with a trailer, but I'm Prime Simulation and I make my life difficult all the time. This is the kind of stuff that would be fantastic for the cars to have, and it's just a matter of perspective. I understand a lot of people are not, you know, overly happy, to say the least, that the fact that resources are being spent on Project Road Trip and doing more of exploratory stuff versus, well, focusing on some other key features for the game, like, let's say, physical damage or dirt on our trucks, for example, or just something along those lines. There are different new trucks coming in, for that matter. There's some other things that basically people want to see happen that just simply can't be done because of the resources being spent on Project Road Trip. Although there is a completely different team working on Project Road Trip, separate from the other, you know, vehicle designers and so on. It's still resources technically that could be spent doing something else, and that is something that we kind of have to honestly accept at this point and try and move forward with. Yeah, maybe you won't want to pick up Project Road Trip, and that is perfectly fine. Maybe Project Road Trip will surprise you whenever it releases. That's for those who, you know, are on the perspective of not really a fan of it. For those who are, you know, excited to see this come, we have to kind of realize that some of the other arguments being said about the realization of, well, if it is fully exploratory, is it completely a logistics game anymore? That is also a very fair argument, and I don't believe anyone has a right and wrong answer at this point. It's just, again, all a matter of perspective. Which way do we actually have to go? The GPS wants us to go back. Oh, we're not going back at this point. We're continuing up and around here, game. Come on, Volvo, you can go forward. Up over the edge. It's not like it's that heavy, the cargo we're hauling today. So anyways, that little bit of a rant aside, Project Road Trip, obviously a feature that will bring a lot of division within the community on if they want to pick it up or not, and probably one of the most, if not the most, divisive features that have been, you know, talked about or introduced for the game in its entire life, basically, at this point. SU software normally doesn't have too many features come in where it's a, you know, a hit or miss, basically, or a significant rift in people's views. This is definitely different, but I do see where it could go. And the other perspective I'm going to talk on very quickly here is the fact that what project... Wait, there's an escort vehicle? Where's the heavy haul? Okay. Just random truck. That's fine then. We'll wait for that car to go and then we'll mosey on across here. The other bit is that Project Road Trip will bring in brand new physics models for vehicles and other civilian traffic alike. Does this mean that it would make it easier for modders to create other features and so on to extend Project Road Trip itself? I would say yes. I would say that bringing in the different vehicle physics and so on will make the lives of so many modders a lot better, and also allow for more realistic vehicle handling than within American Truck Simulator itself, meaning that other vehicle mods will just become even more realistic. I'm sure then, let's say for the Ford F-150 that will be coming in with the Ford car pack, I would assume then, if hotshot trucking is not immediately involved within the DLC to begin with, it would become part of functionality based off of a mod that someone creates. That is my 2 cents on that. The modding community is so strong and so devoted to ATS that I feel like if there is any part of Project Road Trip or the related DLCs that become a little bit lackluster, the modding community will step up and fill that in. So that's where then my optimism comes back in for the whole thing. Even if Project Road Trip does just become more exploratory and it's hit and miss among the community on if people want to actually pick it up or use it for other, roleplay scenarios, as I've mentioned before, within the game, the modding community, I'm sure, will step up and, do their amazing work to make sure that Project Road Trip becomes what everyone wants it to be. Oh, okay. Service truck. It's not how a four-way stop works, lad. And maybe they could improve AI physics as well. I don't know. And I doubt, and actually I believe it's been confirmed that Project Road Trip vehicles will not be part of AI traffic, which is unfortunate. But the quality of the vehicles are higher than AI traffic models as well. So it's a trade-off for game performance along with that. So again, Project Road Trip is a very complicated feature, one that, I've talked about this entire video at this point and probably could continue to talk about for quite some time, to be honest with you, because there are so many perspectives on it. There are so many ways that it could be fantastic and a little bit or disappointing at the same time, let's be honest. I'm going to try and keep the position of optimistic until I actually get to try it out. I feel like being too overly critical or, completely shoving it aside is a little bit too harsh, considering that we really don't have a ton of concrete information of what the module will completely look like. As far as I am aware, most of the discussions SES Software have had publicly have still been quite open-ended on in terms of different, cargo that could be hauled. If there's trailers for pickup trucks or something like that, I do not 100% know. So I don't want to just completely write it off and get in the more bashing, basically, of the potential feature until I can try it. But should I completely hype it up as well? I don't know if at this point, given the divisive nature of it, if it really deserves to be completely hyped up as well. I don't know. I am excited for it, don't get me wrong. I'm excited to be able to drive some branded vehicles in American Truck Simulator as part of an official DLC and see how the physics and engine sounds are. If the physics and engine sounds live up to, hopefully, what the hype of it would be, then I think that is a major win for American Truck Simulator on its own, regardless of what you think of the actual Project Road Trip module. If that's lackluster and some of the other features don't go over well with Project Road Trip, I think SES Software has some significant work to do to make sure that Project Road Trip doesn't become large-scale, I don't want to completely say failure, but definitely a bit more of just a large-scale trial in American Truck Simulator and a kind of misstep in direction. I don't think it will become that, but I also don't want to see it happen if too many things kind of, get swept under the rug in terms of details. I guess we will just have to find out, won't we? Now, I've been, of course, just yabbering away as across the delivery here and stumbling across some words as life goes here, typically with Prime Simulation commentary. But I do appreciate everyone's support. It has been amazing to see the receptiveness of, the different content that has been coming up here, and all your kind words on how things are, and honestly, your appreciation for the style that I do, and the fact that, things aren't completely perfect, both in commentary and in terms of the videos themselves. I do appreciate that. It does mean a lot to me to know that everyone is just here just to enjoy some American Truck Simulator, some Euro Truck Simulator 2, some other simulation games alike, and be part of an amazing community. And I do appreciate that. The community is still growing significantly fast, faster than I could have ever imagined. And of course, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Lots of really neat things very, very soon that are just on the home stretch, and of course some other tutorials alike that are down in the pipeline that are being pushed along quite nicely, which will be fantastic for the community as well. A lot of people ask me a bunch of different questions. There's some other resources coming soon along that way for terms of support. All exciting things. I've got a bit of an extra vision here for the channel that will then basically just set it on a better foundation moving forward. Not that it isn't in terms of a good foundation now, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing, it's still going to be a one person show at this point. Prime Simulation, me. I'm the one running it. Don't worry about that. There's none of that, any of that corporate jargon. Simply put, I'm just trying to make sure Prime Simulation can be what, honestly, you have made it into and serve that position well. You, the community, have made this place a point of a lot of completely open questions, a lot of completely open opinions, different thoughts and visions for the games that I cover here on the channel. A place that this community loves to interact with people, loves to interact with the videos and so on. And I just want to make sure that can continue to evolve over time and, for all of you, have a place to be able to do that. And make sure that it can continue in a viable sense. So, all good things coming, and it will be very soon. Don't worry about that one. So we're entering Waterloo today from a different edge today, which is kind of nice. It has been nice just to go a little bit across the Iowa countryside here today, albeit it's not a long delivery per se, but it has been a good one overall, and a good rant, shall I say, as well. Being able to check out the detour is always neat, and I'll have to try and find some of the other hidden roads across the Iowa DLC. Now, I know some of you know where they are, and let's try not to spoil it too much for the people in the comments, but feel free to reach out to me, DM me if you want to give some hints at very least in some different positioning. I think that would be maybe a little helpful if I want to check it out, but honestly, at the same point, I also want to be able to try and find them myself and give myself a little bit of redemption point with some, lackluster performances in many DLCs in the past. Admittedly today, yes, I kind of had an idea that there was a hidden road in this area, and flying around, I thought that there could have been some extra detail in the map kind of loading in the distance. I didn't get up close, but I thought there could have been something maybe there. I guess that's a little bit of a trade-off with doing the content creation and having the developer mode and so on enabled for teleportation. Sometimes you can see things that kind of are a little bit of a giveaway, but I tried not to spoil it for myself, and I managed to plop that marker down right at the entrance of where we needed to go. So I guess just fate had it for us to explore that road detour today, albeit it was a little bit sketchy to say the least. Maybe even not legit at any sense, because of, the entire bottom of our Load King trailer scraped along the little construction ramps and bridges that they had in place. So not ideal. Not ideal to say the least, but you know what? It is what it is, as I like to say. It is a simulation game. No harm was done. Again, damage is pretty inconsequential here in American Truck Simulator. Just a little simple repair or a little replace, and you're good to go. And would it be fantastic to actually have damage physics in American Truck Simulator? Yeah, that would be fantastic. Would it even something simple, well, seemingly simple, as getting the truck dirty, or at least having the option to get the truck dirty and then go through a truck wash? Absolutely fantastic. I think that is a great idea, and one that, I mean, I don't know how difficult. Again, I'm not a modder per se. Or a truck. You stopped after me, lad. I honestly have no idea how difficult it is to do some of those things. I don't. I'm not a developer. I'm not a modder. I don't know what it's like to try and get basically different dirt particle and that physics base onto the models within the game. From an outsider's perspective, it just feels like something like adding dirt, which you can already, when you're on dirt roads, the dirt particles already kind of fly up around and so on. Why is dirt spray such a difficult thing to add to American Truck Simulator? And then just car wash. Who cares about an animation? It's like you drive in and you hit enter and maybe the little thing sprays across and then it's poof, your truck's clean. I think a lot of people would take that over, well, nothing at this point, let's be honest. I don't know. I honestly don't know what the reasoning is behind it. I mean, the full damage physics I can understand. That's more complicated for the modeling side because there's full vehicle deformation and so on. But again, a little bit of dirt. That's where I think some of the frustration comes in with the community was, you know, if there's directions that SJ Software is going that the community some individuals may not agree with, it's those little features or something even, well, like seasons. Now that's a major feature, but especially as American Truck Simulator has expanded and even the current map, seasons significantly change and the weather patterns significantly change across the various states. And having something more in terms of an annual calendar basically within American Truck Simulator that brings in proper weather patterns or at least different climates for the different regions would be honestly game changing. I'm not gonna, you know, sugarcoat that one by any means. It would be game changing in the best possible way. Again, there would be probably an option to turn that off. Just like most features that should probably come in for American Truck Simulator, at the end of the day, it should be optional. Again, is that being prioritized? Is that being worked on? Probably is. Maybe in some way or not. And something like the Winter Wonderland event proved that snow can be added to American Truck Simulator, albeit in its own custom little map, but it can be done. And where do I actually have to park this thing? Along this side? I don't really know. I think it is. It's in there. Now, can I... Oh, I have to park in there. I can't probably swing around. Or can I swing around the back side of the building? I actually don't know. I may be able to get around. If so, that would be ideal. So we're going to actually back up here and see if I can go around the back side of the building. Because if I can, this is going to make my reverse a whole lot easier. So anyways, another rant aside with the weather. There's just a lot that could happen for ATS and ATS2 respectively. It's just a matter of what is the priority and what's being worked on and when. It's always when is the question. I think we can swing around here, you know. I think we can get it to fit around. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to work our way around and make our lives a lot easier. Or at least hopefully easier. Again, I am Prime Simulation. Easy and parking has never been too words that generally go together with me. But, or maybe I should say even smart. Smart reversing and planning for the reverse are not something that's common across this channel. But I think if we do something like this, get it a little bit more straight, we'll go back, check that mirror. Oh, we got plenty of clearance over there. Oh, got plenty of room. So we'll come back this way. And then start to bring it over. Check that mirror out. May not be the most center in the spot by any means. Let's see if it will at least take it. Probably not, because I'm not. Oh, it will. Well, they're being very generous because, yeah, I kind of just decided to go in on an angle. But that's honestly okay. I think for these little things, that's fine. Honestly, you probably wouldn't even park around here anyways because I, 1, own the trailer, 2, own the truck, and 3, they need to get these things off. So I wouldn't park between, well, a big milling machine and some other park stuff. But you know what? That's okay. American Truck Simulator logic at its best. So once again, thank you all so much for watching. What a fantastic episode here in ATS Showcases. Once again, a bit of a rant. You know what? That is okay. It's what a lot of you have come to love about me here on the channel, but it is something that we have to talk about. And Project Road Trip will be one that we continue to talk about, but it is, in my opinion, at least an exciting prospect. And we just have to wait to learn more, at least for me, until I judge it basically more. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.